Good afternoon and welcome to Loch Dockard here in beautiful Scotland. We are doing a bit of backpacking, hiking and camping the last few days, and we wanted to do a packing video. So we are currently in the middle of nowhere. It was about a 4-hour trek to get out here, and we wanted to show you kind of what we packed for our few days of backpack hiking, camping. So this is my friend Dan Bell, who is a YouTuber, nature photographer.
Yeah, talk to a camera type thing.
He's local here, so you kind of know a lot of the spots, and you do quite a bit of camping.
Yeah, so Loch Dockard, which is a pretty remote spot to come camping for the first time in Scotland, but
we're gonna kind of go through what Dan packs. Well, Dan's gonna go through what Dan packs. I'm gonna go through what Nadine packs, with remembering that everything that we bring needs to be carried on our backs and trekked in, so we're very selective of the items that we're packing with us.
yeah, weight is a big thing. You really want to try and save weight and stuff. So, like, if you're packing for the first time, it's pretty difficult to know what to bring. So
yeah, it's taken quite a few camping trips to kind of nail it down, and not even perfect yet.
Quite a few attempts.
So let's go through everything. Let's start with our backpacks. Okay, so this is my backpack. It's currently empty right now. It is the Osprey Aerial, 65 liters, meaning that it is 65 liters of stuff will fit in there. So I will show you these. Well, we'll both show you these when they're packed up after we've packed everything and back up into them, so you'll see what they look like full. But the biggest thing is this one is a specifically women fitted backpack. It is really important actually for females to get a proper fit, because male backpacks, bless your guys' heart, are a little bit more broad in the shoulders. We don't have as broad of shoulders, and our torsos aren't as long. So this one is really, really good. I like it because it's got lots of venting, pretty sturdy straps, and this one is my trekking backpack I've had for several years now, and I'm pretty happy with it.
Okay, this is my rucksack here, which is the Osprey Aether 70, so 70 litre rucksack. The thing that I really like about this rucksack is the straps. They're comfy. I think that's one of the main things. If you're going hiking for a long time, you really want comfy straps, because if you get pains in your shoulders, your hips, it's not too fun. Usually you can actually get the rucksacks fitted for your size, body type and stuff like that, so that's something to bear in mind. So yeah, we've got a kind of stretchy pocket if you're like just shoving in maybe an extra layer. It's getting warm during the day. It's a really good pocket just to shove in random stuff. Usually put in my sleeping bag and roll mat in the bottom there. What is really handy for Scotland is it's got a rain cover pocket in the top here. I need to just pull this out as quickly as possible.
Okay, so now we have our tents and our sleeping pads and sleeping bags. So this is our whole tent. So this is actually a 2-person tent. As you can see, it's myself and Matt who's sharing it, and I will show you how this is all set up. But all of that will be carried with us, and I'll usually break it up between myself and Matt. My sleeping pad, my sleeping bag, my sleeping pillow. Yeah, so this one is actually 3 kilo and is waterproof HH2000. I don't actually know about ranking it, but it's waterproof, and that's what's important.
Right, this is my tent here. It has one pole. It's pretty waterproof. So far, I think I've used it for about 2 years, and it hasn't leaked yet, which is a big bonus. And then this is my wee roll mat here. So the reason it's so small is that it only actually covers half my body, which is good because it's really light, but in the winter it can sometimes get quite cold because your feet are kind of touching the ground. So just one drawback.
Welcome to our tent. So this is actually a 2-person tent because it's me and Matt who's behind the camera sharing it. But this is the fly, as you can see. It is another kind of lightweight-ish tent. You always want a lightweight tent when you're backpack camping because you're going to carry all of it. But I'll show you how it opens up. So there's 2 zippers here. Now we have the entrance of the tent. So typically, I don't really like keeping my bag outside of the tent. I like to put it inside, but I like to keep my shoes outside because shoes are gross and they stink. And this is typically a little bit smaller of a vestibule than I like, but it does the job. So shoes will go outside of the tent, and then we'll open it up like so. And then you have the inside. inside the tent. So it will be a bit squishy while we do put the backpacks in there, but I just like keeping all my stuff inside the tent. That's just my personal preference. These are our sleeping bags. So this one's Matt's, that's mine. As you can see, inflatable pillows, which are awesome. So that's our pillow that we sleep on. And then underneath, very, very important, is the Thermarest. Well, Thermarest is actually the brand, but it's a sleeping pad. So I have one that's like this, so it's a more thicker sleeping pad, and then this one is Matt's. So his is actually quite a bit tinier, but almost looks like an air mattress. Like you blow that up as well. But these are super essential because sleeping on rocks and just the cold from the ground that just comes up, it's not very pleasant. So you definitely want to invest in some good sleeping pads and make sure you're comfortable in them, and warm sleeping bags. So mine is rated to -12 degrees Celsius. I'm never gonna go camping in -12, but I really like a warm sleeping bag. So making sure you pick out a good warm sleeping bag is super important.
This is my crib, my wee mini tent. It's pretty light. It's only about 1.5 kilograms. So it means that you're not kind of like trudging along with a really heavy tent on your rucksack. So separate from where you sleep, you've got a wee space for your rucksack. So if the ground's wet, sometimes what I do is actually put my waterproof rain cover under my rucksack, and that means that your rucksack doesn't get wet. So inside my beautiful wee tent. So this is the kind of living area. Again, we've got my Thermarest sleeping mat, and then I've also got my sleeping bag, which is a winter sleeping bag. If it's colder, then I usually sometimes wear a fleece, but it just depends how warm it is during the night. I think it's rated to about -10. The other thing about this sleeping bag is there's no feathers in it. So I'm allergic to feathers, so you can actually get synthetic sleeping bags, which means that I don't have an asthma attack in the night, but it's still warm. So this is my clothes bag, which has got all my kind of like fleeces and thermals in it, which I also just use as a pillow. So I just kind of stuff it with clothes, extra clothes, and then just use that as a pillow. It's comfy enough. Right, this is our lovely kitchen for our trip, which is basically just a rock, but it's a fairly multi-purpose rock.
Pretty solid kitchen.
It's a pretty solid kitchen. And so this is our stove. So we've got our wee mini stove here. There's usually 2 different types of stove. There's ones that screw onto the gas, and then there's ones that are separate and they're on like a wee tripod like here. I find that these are a wee more stable because if that falls off the gas, it's not too fun. So all this kind of packs up into a wee mini bag, which is quite handy if you're wanting to kind of pack light. So this is our main cooking pot. So usually we're just boiling water and then maybe pouring it into our coffee cups.
Yeah.
And it's always important to have a lid so that your water boils a lot quicker and it's not just kind of like going out into the wilderness.
Yeah, because when it's cold,
Yeah.
you could waste a lot of gas.
Yeah, the other thing that's important to remember is a lighter. So before a trip, it's usually a good shout just to make sure your lighter's still working, because if it's not, then all of this is kind of useless.
And then you're gonna have a really awful
Food experience.
Yeah.
I mean, the food's bad enough.
So this is kind of my multi-purpose everything utensil. Has a little carabiner there that it clips onto, and you have your fork, spoon, knife. Pretty solid.
This is mine. It's just a spoon.
Just a teaspoon.
This is actually a specifically designed camping food spoon.
Oh.
Fun fact.
Oh, is it because it's super long?
Super long, yeah.
These are our plates and bowls. So I have 2 of them. They're little foldable ones. This is the cup. Goes like that. And it's like a silicone rubber. Usually just use it for coffee or hot chocolate in the morning. And then this one is my bowl. So it goes like that. And that's for soups, porridges, literally anything. I don't have a plate. I just have a bowl. And that's all the bowls and plates I have.
This is mine. I found it in my kitchen before the trip. And pretty much does everything that does, but it's just cheaper.
But you don't have a bowl. But I guess you can use that lid as a bowl.
Yeah, you can use that as well.
So one of the things that I like to eat for breakfast, and it's my essential go-to camping breakfast food, is oatmeal or porridge. Because you want like that warm
Yeah,
food in the morning.
It's easier for your body to process it if it's warm. It gives you much more energy than just having like stuff that's kind of dry, cold.
Yeah, and if it's like rainy or not really nice, and mornings are just generally cold, so I love porridge in the morning.
For breakfast, I usually just kind of make it up. So my kind of number one essential is Garibaldi biscuits, which are essentially just crackers with raisins through them. So I usually bring maybe 3 packets of these. For some reason I just really like them. And then I'll also maybe bring like some sandwiches that I've made up before the trip. But you just have to be careful because after a couple of days, especially if it's warm, the sandwiches tend to go off.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Which is what has happened now.
So like at your lunches, the sandwiches. Anything else that you typically eat for lunch?
Just basically fruit. So the thing about packing fruit is that you want to make sure that when it's in a bag and it's getting compressed, it's not going to kind of go all over the place.
So bananas are not very good.
Yeah, bananas is a no-no. I've learned that the hard way. Dried fruit as well is pretty good because it actually comes in a packet and it's fairly light.
Yeah. Dried fruit. Oh, we got lots of that. Trail mix. We have an excessive amount of trail mix left over, but nuts. Dried fruit, that's how you make up your trail mix. Some people put chocolate. I don't tend to put the chocolate in it because if it's hot, it's gonna melt all over the nuts and the dried fruit.
The other thing that I'd have for lunch is maybe just like these brunch bars, which are just kind of like breakfast bars type thing. And then also just chocolate, a lot of chocolate. So
but does it melt on you?
Kind of, yeah.
The biggest thing for lunches is you want it to be, you don't want to cook. Now when it comes to dinner, what is our number one? Oh, it's so exciting!
Camping packets. These things are brilliant, as Nadine and Matt have found out. The joys of camping food. Oh.
I mean, camping food is like you want a warm dinner. Like that's the biggest thing with camping is you want that warm dinner to kind of like after a long day's worth of like burning calories, doing activity. You want something good.
Yeah, so these things are really light. They pack down really well.
Yeah, they're dehydrated.
And
so
they last for ages. So like, I think the expiry date on this is maybe like, so 2020. So like 2 years from now this expires. The only thing is they don't really taste amazing.
They're not the best tasting food, but it's essentially just a dehydrated meal.
Yeah.
And all you need to do is put boiling water from your pot into the package itself. Stir it about, let it sit for a few minutes, boom, meal. You don't need to dirty any plates or bowls, you just eat it out of the package.
Yeah, there's like some that work better than others. So like pastas work pretty well. Rice, curries, they usually are okay.
Yeah.
Things that don't work are like all day breakfasts in a packet. I've heard they're pretty disgusting.
You might want to try a few out. It's a hit or miss. Like I said, there's a lot of different foods that you can find. Another thing is that are not just the pack, is any kind of dehydrated food. So dehydrated soup is another one that I've made before in the past, and it's really good. Noodles, dehydrated, like those like they call them sidekicks at home, but like those dehydrated sides. And if you're going on 3-day, you pack 3 for dinners. If you're going on a 7-day hike, pack 7 dinners. Vice versa. And then if you want to pack any like treats, like sometimes pack like Oreos or like some sort of like a biscuit or like a treat. Like it's nice to have like one like sugary dessert like item.
Right, so another essential that I've discovered are freezer bags, which basically work in a lot of situations. So first example would be for a bin bag.
Yes.
These things work great and you just kind of tie them up when they're full.
Yes, because the joys of camping in the wilderness, responsible camping means that you trek all of your garbage out. This is important, and I mean all of your garbage, all of your food scraps, all of your wrappers, and all of your toilet paper.
Take it away.
You take it away, all of it.
Another way that you can use these freezer bags is actually to create your very own waterproof shoes. So if your shoes get totally soaked, if you run into the river, run into the loch, then one thing that you can do is put on a dry pair of socks and then over the top one of these freezer bags and then put your shoe on, and that just protects you from your socks getting wet, kind of. Although your feet do usually tend to get quite sweaty, but you know.
Next we're gonna do our clothes and what we wear. So first off, Hiking shoes. Step number 1, a good pair of hiking shoes that you've worn in tried, tested and true.
Yeah, make sure there's no blisters. Blisters are the worst.
Yeah.
If you get like a new pair of boots, just make sure that you've gone for a wee walk and there's no blisters.
This is one of the things that I forgot on this trip is sandals. So I like to, so hiking shoes will be the only shoes that I bring, but I also like a pair of like either flip-flops or sandals that I can put on after like a long day's hike and just kind of like wear them around camp.
Yeah, if you're jumping out your
feet.
tent quickly to go to the loo, or if you're just gonna go for a wee stroll, you don't want to have to put on your socks, put on your boots.
Yeah.
So it's a good idea.
So that's another thing, but that's essentially all the footwear. Hat. Hat's pretty important. Helps with ticks. Keeping ticks away, that is, from your head for a female. And the sun. So I have 2 pairs of hiking socks and that's it. Just to kind of rotate to keep it nice and fresh. And your feet aren't really going to be fresh ever. So these are like waterproof hiking pants, waterproof jacket, my puffy jacket, which is my warm jacket, because this is just a shell. This is so important. I've learned the hard way how important one of these are.
Good insulator.
Good insulator, like just a warm jacket. This isn't waterproof though, that's why I have the shell. Doesn't matter how warm it is during the day, it will 95% of the time get way colder in the night, during the night, and in the morning, or if it rains. So I like to make sure I have lots of warm stuff with me so I stay nice and warm because I hate being cold. A buff. Buffs are awesome. You can wear that around your neck, you can wear that on your head. Pretty essential. Hiking shorts, which are nice, waterproof, quick drying. Then we have t-shirts. So essentially bring a t-shirt for every day that I'm hiking. Underwear, don't need to see that. Hiking sports bra, casual comfort bra. And then I'm wearing my slightly more bra,
Brilliant.
everyday bra. This is really, really important. A good pair of thermals.
I agree.
Merino wool thermals, and so that's my long shirt thermal, and I'm wearing my thermal leggings. And that is essentially all the clothes that I will bring for my trip. So, and this actually has compression sacks, so this will compress a bit more. And all of these, this will compress really small and stuff too.
First thing I bring in terms of clothes is a good waterproof jacket. If you go into a store, they'll usually tell you like how waterproof a jacket is. So like some jackets are only really made for like light rain, some jackets are made for like total downpour Scottish weather. So it's important that your jacket kind of stays dry. Another thing to watch out for with your jackets is that you have a Velcro strap around your wrist. Just means that the wind doesn't catch into your body and you get really cold. Second item is waterproof trousers. Really important for Scotland usually, but luckily Nadine and Matt have been really lucky and have caught the sun.
Beautiful.
These are actually also a really good wind stopper, so it stops you getting a wee bit chilly from like if there's gusts and things, so those are a good idea. In the summer I usually bring one really warm layer, so here I've got like a really kind of warm fleece, and I think this is also like a wind stopper, so if it gets cold at night or you've jumped in the water, you could just fire this on and it will give you a bit of a warmth boost. For socks, I usually bring a lot of socks. I usually find that my feet get wet, jump in the river, jump in the loch, you go through a bog, especially in Scotland. And so yeah, bringing a couple extra pairs of socks really helps. Hiking socks as well, they usually help to make sure your feet are insulated and stuff.
Yeah, proper hiking socks make quite a bit of difference.
Yeah, and also if your boots are quite rigid, it means that padded socks give your feet a wee bit of protection from blisters and things. Yeah, the other thing is I bring a couple of thermals, so thermal leggings and a thermal top, and these types of things dry a lot quicker than cotton. And again, especially in Scotland, if it's raining all the time, then usually your stuff gets wet at some point. I'll usually maybe bring like a t-shirt, a running top.
One t-shirt.
2 t-shirts. So yeah, maybe like a running top, which is like really light and a good insulator. So if you're getting sweaty from hiking, then this is quite good to kind of like, what's that term?
Wicking,
Wick.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a running top's quite good for wicking sweat away from your body.
I love it how like you're like, oh yeah, just one shirt and a running top, and I'm like, shirts for everydays and 2 pairs of socks, and you're like, multiple socks. So you don't like stinky feet, I don't like stinky body. That's essentially what we've. So to each your own. As you can see, there are multiple ways to do that.
Really warm buff.
Yeah, buffs.
Really
That's
good.
awesome.
Just making sure that there's no gaps in your clothing where the wind can get in. And then also I've got my kind of robbers hat that I found in Iceland. I think it's like a wool
Toques.
hat.
Yeah, like beanies, toques.
Yeah.
That's something I didn't bring on this trip.
Really good. Gangster look, you know. Yeah, so I usually just bring a light pair of gloves just in case. So if you're going at any altitude as well, then it usually gets colder the higher you go. So gloves do come in handy.
Now all of the little knickknacks, accessories, and other things that are pretty important. Phone, even
Phone.
though we have no signal out here, so. But when you do get signal, it's pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the phone. This is my charger cable for my phone and power pack. This is a crazy power pack. It's 20,000 milliamps. Does 7 phone charges. Again, not using my phone when we're out here, but when we return to civilization, it's important.
There's some networks that are better than others,
Yeah.
but if you're remote like here, you usually don't get a signal.
No, so it's hit or miss, but phone's important. This is a lot of sunscreen, but it's sunscreen me and Matt are sharing, so quite a bit. Wilderness wipes, oh my gosh, this stuff is amazing. They're essentially baby wipes for your body, because I don't like showering in this cold water. It's not really my thing. Then we have this is an amazing little light torch. It charges via USB. So again, I can charge it via my power pack, and it is a flashlight. So it's a very strong flashlight, but because it's light out, you don't really see it. So flashlight. It also does a lantern, I should
Very
say,
handy.
and then a slightly dimmer lantern. Then we have our bathroom setup, which is some tissue paper and
Hand gel, hand
gel.
sanitizer.
hand sanitizer. That is your washroom essentials. And again, like I said, you pack all your toilet paper out. These are water purifying tablets. So you can put these in water, let it sit for about an hour, and then it's good to drink. Although most of the water I drink is actually through my Life Straw bottle. So this has a straw that filters out like all of the bacteria, dirt, so you can just put it in any stream or lake. My toiletries, this is actually quite a bit of toiletries. If I was just doing a camping trip, I wouldn't pack this much. Deodorant, dry shampoo, ladies, so essential. Dry shampoo. You just have like toothbrush, toothpaste, a couple eye drops, some lip gloss, that's pretty important. Sunglasses, very straightforward. Eye mask because it gets light at 4 a.m. And it doesn't get light and it doesn't get dark until like 11:30.
Yeah.
This is a first aid kit. It's a fully stocked first aid kit. I actually did a video all about this. I will leave a link down below if you want to see what I pack in my first aid kit, but very important. This is the cover for my bag. So like your bag, you had it attached in.
Yeah,
your
waterproof
rain
cover.
I had it separately, so it's just a waterproof rain cover.
Yeah.
A little umbrella. So that'll just be if I'm around camp. I don't hike with an umbrella. It's mainly for cameras, or if I'm around camp and I don't want to get soaking wet if it's pouring rain. This is just a swimming trunks. So my bathing suit in a little waterproof bag. This is a little compact brush and mirror. Passports. And this is my makeup. So little pared down makeup kit. I won't go through all this, but it's essentially just a few little makeup things because I like to wear makeup even when camping. So that is the end of what I pack.
Okay, so this is my selection of stuff that I usually bring with me. First item is a power bank. I kind of prefer if you have these kind of mini wires so you don't have massive wires going all over the place, and they can kind of sometimes break, and it just means that it's quite compact. And also, see when it's actually cold, your phone runs out of battery a lot quicker. Like the battery will just die. So sometimes I'll actually just leave my phone plugged in if I need to use it for the time or my alarm clock, or sometimes I'll save some maps on my phone. So it's just handy to have on you. If you're getting a train back on a certain day. Like today we're catching a train at 7. It's always just handy to have all those details on your phone so you know where you're going. Second thing is an EpiPen. I've never actually used one of these, but I am allergic to nuts, so I just bring it with me just in case.
And we've got a bunch of nuts with us, so
yeah.
Didn't know that before we started this trek.
Mini first aid kit with maybe a few plasters, some antiseptic wipes, scissors, tweezers for ticks, which we have used this trip because there's quite a few ticks cutting about here. Again, I've got my Toiletries pack.
The bathroom kit.
Yeah, the bathroom kit. And then I've also just got my toothbrush, toothpaste, and I'll just put that in like a freezer bag so it doesn't kind of jump about your bag. I've got asthma, so I bring an inhaler. If I'm going on a long hike, then sometimes it's good just to make sure I've got my inhaler. Another thing that's quite handy to do is to print out a map of where you're going. So in the circumstance that your phone dies, your phone crashes, you've got a physical map of where you're going just in case you get lost. Especially if you're going to a new area, it's just important to know whereabouts you are. In the UK we've got OS Maps, which is the most detailed map, so it'll have the contour lines of the mountains, it'll have the rivers, it will show you the paths of where you need to go. The thing about Google Maps is it doesn't actually tell you the walking routes in Scotland, so that's why OS Maps comes in handy. Also have a head torch, which is really handy for night, because if you've got a normal torch, these are great, but it means that you only have one hand to maybe set up a tent or make food. So if you're in the dark, head torch is good because it means that you have both hands for dancing about. Also, I've got a notebook, just writing random notes. Maybe if I want to plan the next day, then I'll write out a wee plan in my notebook. Also just bring a book with me for my tent. If I'm kind of bored, I've got a few hours to chill out. Books, always handy. Next thing I usually bring is a pair of headphones if I want to listen to music, or the other thing is that if it gets really windy at night and you're having difficulty sleeping because of the wind, or like 2 nights ago there was just tons of birds here having a big chat and it was really loud, then headphones can kind of help just to block out that sound. And then for water, I'll usually bring one of these water bladders which goes in your rucksack. And the advantage of these things is that it's got a tube which then fits into your rucksack strap, so you don't actually need to drop your rucksack to bring out your water bottle. You can just kind of sip your water as you go. Just saves a bit of time when you're hiking. And then also I'll bring a backup bottle of water. So usually for about a 5-day trip, I'll make sure I have about 5 litres of water. But then also in a place like this where the water's pretty pure, you can boil water as you go as well, and that means that it kills the bacteria in the water, it kills the germs, and we can use that for like coffee or camping and things.
Yeah, so like if you ran out of water, you would just boil more water, so you don't use purifiers or anything like that.
Yeah, aye. Purifiers and the water filters are also really handy just to make sure that you're not going to catch anything.
Towels that everything is on, these are quick drying microfiber towels that you use for like you want to shower, if you're going for a swim, if you want to wash your face, etc. But that's everything.
Or you can use a fleece.
So we're gonna now pack everything up into our bag and we'll show you what it looks like. All right, so as you can see, our bags are all packed up. Everything that you saw lied on the ground is now in our bags, minus the tent, because Matt actually has that. I just take the poles. Thank you, Dan, for joining this video and giving your insight. Don't forget to go check out his channel and go subscribe to him for more nature camping videos. Links down below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and let us know in the comments if you've done any backpack hiking, camping before and where that was. Yeah. If you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more travel advice and adventures. All right, shall we head back to camp or head back to civilization?
Yeah, we should probably catch the train.
Yeah, we probably should go catch the train.
We're running out of food, so we should probably go.
All right, bye guys.